Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Searching for Scary. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's like the fifth time I'm recording this, so I'm sorry if it's not as energetic as it should have been. I had like 5 interruptions. I finally got everything the way I need it. Hopefully, nobody walks into the room as I'm doing this. It's like a very private, sacred moment for me when I'm getting to talk about scary stuff and not like people thinking I'm a psycho. Um, I know that's like a misconception thing. Like, if you like horror stuff, people automatically like assume you're like, oh, you're trying to be like a serial killer. Like, no, I just like scary stuff, man. Like, it's the same thing as people who like really love Disney. Actually, I think they're a little bit crazier. But yeah, whatever, to each their own. So, anyways, I'm gonna give you guys a comic book review today on Nice House on the Lake, and I'm also gonna give you another like a kind of like a bonus review after that one. We'll save that to the end. Let me just tell you first of all, I never liked DC Comics. I've never been a DC fan. I've always been like a strictly Marvel kind of guy, Spider-Man, the Avengers, that kind of stuff. DC lately though has been having like some bangers come out, some just really amazing books. More so like in the horror section, but they've had some good like superhero stuff too, and that again, I'm cool. I'll read it, but it's really the horror stuff that's been impressing me the most. Nice House on the Lake. This comic was written by James Tynion, and he has just been amazing in everything he's been releasing lately. Was it Something That's Killing the Children? Is great. It's amazing. The first issue of that, the first print, first issue is like $1,000 now if you're trying to buy that. And it was $4 when it came out, so really good investment opportunity there. But secondly, he also wrote Department of Truth, which it's not at like $1,000 yet, but the first issue was $4, and now the number one first print, I believe, is like $80, or it's like $60 to $80 depending on where you get it and how you get it. But also, if it's been graded, then it's like over 100. So again, really good opportunity there. This book, and I'm being totally honest, is the best book out of those 3 series. And I'm assuming that this series is going to be the best series out of all 3 of these, just off of the first book that I read. This one is a little bit different, as in it's not an ongoing series. There is only a finite amount of issues. It's going to be 12 issues. I wouldn't be surprised though if they find a way to extend this, to stretch it, to get it to maybe even like have like a spin-off, something else coming on after the 12 issues. But who knows? Maybe they'll just leave it at the 12. If they do leave it at 12, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie. If it's like an ongoing series, maybe it'll be a TV show. But if it's just 12 and that's it, they stop it, they wrap it up, nothing else comes out after that, it's a movie. And I'm telling you right now, I read a lot, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know I read a lot. I mean, I read everything I can get my hands on: books, magazines, comic books, short stories, whatever, screenplays. I will read it. And I'm telling you, with no false expectations here, like trying to hype this book up. This is the best story I've read in years. I would say probably since I read World War Z. And that was like, World War Z like blew my mind. But this is just amazing. And the fact that it was so good in only like 24 pages, I think, or 28 pages, something like that, really speaks volumes. I mean, this thing is just, I can't wait. I can't wait for number 2 to come out. Everything about this book is great. It's not just the art and the comic book stuff is like it's very specifically very comic specific, like the art, like the way it's portrayed, the way that you read the bubbles and all that kind of stuff, because that kind of goes into it here as far as like critiquing a comic book. This one is really just the story itself. Like, you could have read this in a book, you could have seen it in a movie, you could have done whatever, and it would be amazing. Basically, there's a man who has just lived life. He's just gone through, he went to school, got a job, whatever dated, whatever else he did. And throughout those years of his life, just like all of us, you accumulate friends, you start kind of getting to know people, maybe have like tertiary friends that just kind of like come in and out. He starts asking them questions on one specific question. He starts asking them how do you think the world will end? And it's not like a one big group session. It's like, just as he's going through his life, that question comes up, and he asks one person, he asks another person, and it's not like, when you're drunk and you're just like, oh yeah, I don't know, big bomb. Like he asked them to have a conversation and to open up dialogue and to really go into like the method of extinction and how the extinction level event could occur and stuff like that. And it's, when you're reading it, it doesn't sound creepy. It's just something like, you probably had that conversation with like a wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, cousins, whatever. At some point you probably like discuss something weird or something like, oh, like aliens or some sort of end of the world scenario. And it's just what you talk about. So it's not like a scary thing when he brings it up. But what happens is, after years and years have gone by, and he hasn't really like maintained this real tight relationship with everybody, he sends out an email, and it's just like a mass email to his friends, like, hey, I got a cabin or house on the lake. I'm gonna have it for a week. Please, come hang out with me. I invite everybody, come hang out. It's a big house. We all got room. If you can make it, great. And so the point of view or the perspective that you're getting from this book is from one of those people he invites. It's from a woman that he invites. And so she goes out there, and she's not really sure what to expect, because he was her friend, but he was her friend kind of like as individuals. They didn't have like a group of friends. But when she gets there are a group of people, and she doesn't know most of them, or if she knows them, it's very like, it's kind of like you're a friend of a friend sort of relationship. And so she's a little off-put by this situation, but whatever, it's fun. And if you don't want to hear spoilers, just pause it right now, or maybe skip ahead like 3 minutes and get to the next one. But I'll tell you right now, as they're there, they don't have any service. They don't have any cell phone service, and so they just start enjoying it. It's their house on the lake, right? Like you usually don't have cell phone service, or not really great reception. And so there's a pool, and obviously the lake is there. They're partying, they're barbecuing, drinking. They're just having a good time. The main character goes up to her room, and she's trying to like search for a signal on her phone. She finally gets one, and she starts scrolling through Twitter. And when she starts scrolling, she sees that there's like this mass like hysteria going on in New York, and it's like people are dying, and it's some sort of like virus or something. She can't really tell what it is. And then as she scrolls through, she realizes it's not just New York. It's in LA. It's in Japan. It's all over the world. People are dying. There's just like something going on, and it doesn't really elaborate on what it is. It's just people are dying in mass all across the globe. Some of them is because of disease. Some of them it's like they're literally burning to death. Like the heat is just too much, and they're getting scorched. And there's all sorts of different ways that all these people are dying. And so she runs downstairs to go tell the others, like that are they're basically just in the pool, like having a good time. She's like, "Hey, guys, what? Like, I just got a signal. The world is ending. The world's ending as we're hanging out here." And of course, their house is like totally untouched. There's nothing going on. There's no issues. Nothing is, and nobody's sick. There's nothing, like no crazy heat wave, nothing. And so they're like, no way. This has got to be fake. Of course, right? Like horror stories do. And when they finally get to see what she's talking about, and they get something on TV, they look at the guy that invited all of them there, and they're asking him like, "You knew what? How did you know what's going on? And you've always asked us these weird questions." And they all kind of simultaneously come to the same conclusion, like he had something to do with it. There's something going on here. And the best part of this, and it's really leaves you on a cliffhanger, and it's just like the most like ominous situation. It's like the last 2 pages in this. He says, "We've known that the end is coming," and not we as in the people in the cabin, but like we've as in whoever the hell he is and the people he works with have known that the end is coming, and we have hand selected you fine people to live out the end of the world here at this cabin. You have everything you need. I've brought everything you need. You have food, you have water, you have a lake, and this area of Earth will go untouched, and just live your lives. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you have it. And with that, I'm gonna leave. I'll come back and check on you every couple of years, but I'm taking off. And one of the kind of like side characters takes a swing at him, I think with like a fire poker or something, and it goes right through him, and he just leaves. And so you don't know, like you're left thinking, like, is he like a demon? Is he an alien? Like, what the hell is he? And what happened? And honestly, it's kind of to like a lesser extent. It's like, okay, well, is everybody dead, or was this just like one of those like a culling kind of thing? Like, okay, like 90% of the world is dead, everybody's dead. Like, what's going on here? And that's it. That's the way it ends. That's the way the first issue ends. So like, you can see why I'm dying to get number 2. Like I'm waiting. I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered like 5 copies already. I would suggest you do the same if you're in it for comic speculation. Like you want to flip this book, buy it. Buy it now. I think the price is already up to like $15 a book, and sometimes it's like $20 depending on what day you buy it. But I'm telling you right now, it might not get up to $1,000 like Something is Killing the Children. This book is going to be expensive though. By the time we get to issue 12, or even maybe like the later issues like 9, 10, 11, this book is going to be high, and it's going to be made a movie. And at some point, somebody's going to say, we're optioning this. It's going to be a movie. And if you're familiar with comic books at all, there's another comic book named Stray Dogs, and I reviewed it not so long ago. For the longest time, it was selling for like $5 to $10 a comic. And then once it says, hey, yeah, we're getting optioned, and Paramount optioned it, the book is now worth $40. So if you bought, a handful of those at 10, you're flipping them at 40. Nice House on the Lake, I can tell you, I bought it when it came out, it was $4. If you can get one at like 15 right now, or even at 20, just pay for it. Pay it, buy it like 3, 4, 5 of these things, and then try and collect the whole series as you're going through here. Not necessarily because each one of them is going to have the same exponential growth, but because, one, it's a great story and you're going to love it, and two, I'm almost positive you're going to have huge events happen in certain books, and there's going to be like first appearances that come out, and it's just there's certain books that are going to be worth a lot of money. Yeah, so anyways, I'm just saying, buy this book. If you're truly a horror fan, you're gonna love the story. I'm telling you right now, there's no doubt in my mind you're gonna love the story. I know I just gave you like a full synopsis of it. Even with me giving you that synopsis, I'm not doing it justice. You're gonna, like, if you read this, you're gonna enjoy it. Secondly, if you're in it for the money, if you are a comic flipper or like a speculator, just buy it. If you don't already have copies of it, buy it now. Buy it now. You might hold on to it for like a year. It might even be a little bit sooner than that. It's gonna be worth your time though. Anyways, that was my main review. That's the book I just really, truly love, and I'm chomping at the bit to buy the second one. But let me give you a second review just in case. This is called Grim Tales of Terror. This is just a cover. This is actually like a series. It's an ongoing series. This one in particular is called, this issue was number 12, I believe, of volume 1. Possibly volume 2. I think it's volume 1. Anyways, it's called Buried Alive. I picked this cover because it's like one of my favorite stories out of the whole run. It's definitely, it's a great story. It's a great twist at the end. And you can kind of sort of see the twist coming, but it doesn't detract from it at all. It's really good. I feel like I may have talked about this series before, but just in case you didn't hear it, or maybe you've never heard of this series, it's basically Zenescope taking like a well-known horror story or like a folk tale and putting their own little twist on it. Like they either change the ending or they maybe change some details about it to make it their own. And so like one of the examples is I'm trying to remember now. Like the Hookman, where the couple's like at the make-out point or whatever, and the guy with the hook comes. They have a comic book about that. The ending is changed. There's other ones about like people getting dragged to hell with like basically like succubuses and stuff like that. This one in particular, like I said, this is my favorite. It's about a guy who gets they attempt to kill him. He's involved with the mafia. They try to kill him, and they like try to drown him. And so he survives. He makes his way out of the situation. He gets up. and he's like, okay, I need to get home because they're gonna kill my family. Like, I know they're gonna go kill my kids and my wife. Let me get home. I'm gonna go save them. And he's trying to hurry up and beat the mafia there because, basically he's like counting down the minutes before they go get there and kill him. So as he's making his way there, people don't want to talk to him. Like, nobody wants to help him, and like, everything looks different. It looks different from like what he was just here. Like, what's going on with the like the street signs are different. Like the lighting's different, and just like he's just like, okay, there's something weird here. Like, what happened? And so as he gets home, he sees his wife and his kids, and he's running in to tell them, like, hey, we gotta go. They're gonna come kill you. And his wife is like, not having it, not gonna leave. And I'm gonna leave it at that, because if I say any more, it's gonna spoil it. If you haven't already kind of picked up on what happened or what's happening, I suggest you go buy it. And if you have picked up on what it is, I would still say go buy it, because the artwork in this is amazing. The storytelling is great, and it's really a way to like commemorate these stories that we've all heard as horror fans for years and years and years, and like folk tales and scary stories and campfire stories, stuff like that. But this is a way to kind of keep those stories in hand, because they're not really collected in like a book anywhere. I think there's a lot of like copywriting issues. So Zenescope changes the story just enough so that it's their story. But if you keep all of these, you can keep them for your own personal collection. If you have kids, you can kind of let your kids grow into horror stuff by giving them these like folk tale stories, and it's in a comic situation, so it's not like overly scary. It's just really good. I really like them, and they're like $4, like $4 a piece. There are 3 volumes, and each volume has 12 comics, because it's like 1 volume per year. They've changed it. I don't know if it was like a sales issue, or maybe they weren't selling as well as they should have, or what. But they've changed it, so it's only they only release a new comic quarterly now. So there's like Grim Fairy Tales, and those are still coming out every month. But the Grim Tales of Terror only comes out like once a quarter. But the quarterlies are really good. They are more expensive. They're like $8, I think, $8 or $9. But these are really good, and they're from like 2014 through 2016. I think it was like the 3-year run that they were publishing these. So they're harder to find, but if you do find them, or you go to eBay or something like that, they're not expensive. Even now, they're like $5, $4. They just like nobody gives them a lot of attention. So, like I said, if nothing else, it's a great way to like hold on to these older folklore stories that get passed on through generation to generation, anyways, and something like tangible to give your kids or your cousins or nieces or nephews, or for a gift or whatever, that are gonna like they are into the horror genre, and then maybe want to continue on with these stories. But anyways, I digress. Buy a nice house on the lake. Just go buy it. Like, anywhere you can find it, buy it right now. You won't be disappointed. But anyways, guys, thank you again for giving me a couple minutes of your time today. Hopefully you found one of these enjoyable, and you'll go grab them and hold on to them. As always, stay scary, and see you next time.